Welcome. Oh, welcome on the show today, Terrie. We love having you here on For the Love of Literacy. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Katie. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate being here today.
I'm so glad we can make it work. My life has gotten a little bit hectic, but this show is always a nice base for me. And so I love finding all the people who also care about literacy. So tell me actually how you found out about the show. I've never asked you that in our correspondence.
I found out about it from the ladies at Gale working with their public relations department. And we have two of them today with us, and it's Kayla and Amy. I can't talk today. I apologize.
We're in trouble.
Yes, we're in trouble, aren't we? But they introduced me to your show, and I've listened to a couple of your podcasts, and I enjoy it very much. I think what you're doing is great work, and I hope that you're able to keep it up.
Oh, thank you so much. That seriously means the world to me. I love doing it because the other day my husband's like, let's talk a little bit about the monetary aspect of things, And I'm like, no, let's talk about like why I started the show, which is actually to promote literacy and a love of it. I'm no longer in the classroom, but that's where my first love was as a kid, and then as a teacher, being able to share that love of literacy with my kids now and writing books for kids. Very slow though. Everything I'm doing is kind of like slow-mo because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so it's so fun to find people or have people find me and to keep things rolling. It's not as fast, or, episodes don't come out as fast as they used to, but I just like the general feel of doing this. I can't imagine not doing it. So
yeah, that's great. It's great.
thank you. So if you will take a minute, Terrie, can you tell our audience a little bit more about you?
I am the librarian at McCollum High School. This is my 29th year in education. I have been the librarian at McCollum for, I think it's 16 years now. And I was a teacher at McCollum for 13 years prior to that. So I've always been at McCollum. I am also a product of McCollum High School. Our district is very small, and it's very much a community. We have so many teachers who have graduated come back to contribute to the community. So I'm another product, and I'm proud to say that I am a McCollum Cowboy. I was in the classroom, like I said, for 13 years, but I've always loved the library. And I thought that I could do more in the library as a librarian to promote reading than I was doing in my own classroom. In my classroom, I believed I was a writing teacher. And that's what I focused on at the high school level, was all about writing. And so now as a librarian, I get to focus on reading, and it's the funnest thing in the world. I get to talk to people about books all day long. Unless, of course, we're doing testing. We were testing these past 2 days, and
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, it dries up my soul. But then I get to talk to kids. I get to talk to people like you, and I get to talk to kids and about books and stuff. So I always get my mojo back. It doesn't take very long. So yeah.
That is so cool. And this may sound silly, but my dream job, at whatever point that it would work out, obviously not right now with 3 littles at home, but would be to be a librarian. I don't even care whether it's the local library or the school library, but like you, I feel like I could do so much within my classroom while I was a teacher. And I loved what I did, and I did touch lives, but I also feel like what's hard is that I was touching those 30 to 31 kids at a time, and I could only reach that many. And like as a librarian, you get to do all the kids, all the curriculum and things, but that's also why I decided to start trying to write books for kids, because I feel like I love connecting with that audience, but it was hard as a teacher, or even when I did my own tutoring service, you only reach so far, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And so I was going to ask you a little bit about the Cowboys Read program, how it got started, how long it's been going, and what you hoped to achieve with it. It sounds awesome.
So this program came about, this is our 3rd year, by the way. So it came about, it's kind of a magical thing, but it's also kind of, a result of COVID. So the way it started out was I was working closely with our emergent bilingual students. I saw well, let me start again. We test so much in the library that it's a very convenient space. It's very big. It's very adaptable. So we do a lot of testing in the library. And so what I noticed was that the same students were coming back year after year, test after test, to retake our standardized test. It's called the STAR. They weren't advancing. They weren't exiting from the program. They were not making any headway. And it wasn't just one subject area, it was all of them.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So that told me that this was a reading issue. It's not about can they do the math? Can they read a chart? This is a reading issue. So one of the things that I did was I talked to our bilingual teacher at the time, and we sort of threw around some ideas. And I said I wanted to do a program specifically with those kids. So she began to bring her kids in more. And what I started to notice was that I would see them on a weekly basis, but no matter how many times I saw them, they still weren't checking out books. And I would ask a kid, I asked one student in particular, and I said, I saw that you were sitting down and you were reading this book. I said, don't you want to check it out? And he goes, no, I don't want to check it out. And I asked him why. And he said, because he didn't want to lose it.
Oh.
He didn't want to be responsible financially for it. And I said, well, what if I told you that it didn't matter? And he goes, no, I don't want it anyway. I don't want to be, and I said, okay. So that came to be a recurring problem with our emergent bilingual students. Regardless of what we offered them, regardless of the benefit or any arrangements that we made for them, they were not having any part of it. And I started kicking around the idea with a very good friend of mine. Her name is Cindy Tamez. And she and I have known each other since we were 5 years old. And so we bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. She's our English department chairperson. And I said, well, what if we had these stations where we got paperbacks donated so that if they were lost, it wouldn't matter. Like they never became part of the library. They were never part of the English department. They were cheap paperbacks and the kids could take them and then return them when they wanted. So it's like, okay, that's a good idea. And then COVID happened. And as you know,
of course,
it changed your life too, right? Like it's changed everybody's life, and everything shut down. So any of the progress we had made with any of the reading that we had done was gone. But then the magic happened of whenever I was able to come back to school in, I think it was May, I was one of the few people left able to get onto campus. And my principal tells me, I have extra money. Do you have an idea how to spend it? Those are magic words to a
for sure.
librarian.
Yeah.
We always got something going on. And so I said, I have an idea for a program. And I said it would specifically target our ELLs or emergent bilinguals, but it would be open to everyone on our campus. And the way that we would be able to track success would be through our testing scores. We would be able to see how it tracked through the reading scores. And he liked that idea. It was very easy to do. He just handed me money and I ran off and I spent it. And rather than doing the paperbacks, I decided to go with Gale and Thorndike large print books, because I had seen several articles about the success that they had through their large print books. And just reading them on my own, it was so much easier to understand the words, to keep in place. I moved through it. It felt like I moved through it quicker. I even gave one to a student. I said, can you tell me, are you going to read this book for me? You know, if you read it, you can keep it. I got a sample. And I said, let me know what you think. And they were like, oh, the plot was okay. And we talked about the plot and everything. I said, but what did you think about how big the print was? And she said, I thought it was weird at first, but I really liked it. at the end. And I said, good to know. I said, did you feel like it took you longer to read? She goes, no, I kind of felt like I was going through it faster. So I just kept reading and reading and reading. I was like, well, that's good too. And so I went ahead and I contacted Gail, and we set up a subscription service that they had, and started our program that way. So
Wow.
one of the benefits of, COVID was that schools got a lot of funding. And so I was able to fund Cowboys Read through that funding. So that's how it all started. And I overdid it the first year. I overplanned the first year. I created a website and I had all these cool activities and all of these online things. But our students quickly got very tired of being online and being in front of the computer. Oh, so yeah. I've had to make adjustments and changes as the years have gone by. But last year I added a lunchtime kind of book talk time, and the kids really enjoy that.
Like a little book club almost, right?
Almost, yeah. It's very loose. It's very loose, yeah. And they especially like the snacks. And
yeah, of course, yeah. Food and books. I mean, like, it really does not get better than that.
No, you and I would, yes, that's perfect. And the kids also, we do some crafts, and while we're doing those things, we talk about the books and we talk about what they've been reading and stuff like that. So it's evolving as we're going through, and I think it's making a big change. We now have 5 stations on campus. We're able to offer students 5 titles per month. And the books are, there's no cost of the books. The kids just pick up the books and read them. And whenever they're finished, they just put them back on the cart. And they were a little flummoxed by it at first. They were just like, well, how do I check this out? I was like, you don't check it out, sweetie. Well, when is it due? It's due when you're done. Just